how's it going? My name is Lauren and welcome to this video. Happy New Year! It's 2026 and I'll be sharing with you today what my goals are for the year. I kind of do this every year where I share what I want to achieve during the year, what I'm planning on doing throughout the year, maybe to give you inspiration of what your goals might be. I know we're, 10 or so days already in. It's been a bit late, but it's never too late to start a new goal. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so I've done something a little bit differently this year. I've done like an ins and outs list, and then I've done like a bingo card of my goals. So I have this like journal thing that I started a couple of years ago, and I do like yearly things. But as you can see here, I've got an ins and outs page, and then I've got my bingo page. We're gonna go through both of those things. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen my ins and outs already, but I'm kind of gonna explain them a little bit more, why I'm choosing to do them and all of that kind of stuff. And my bingo card, I'm not going to go through absolutely everything because some of that's like personal, but I'll give you an idea of like most of what's on that list. So let's start with the ins and outs. In my ins list, we are, for 2026, ins. It is an in to have better quality sleep. I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick and tired of being tired and having really low quality sleep. And in for 2026, setting aside time for hobbies. I get so caught up in the busyness of life, work and then sleep and then social and then this and then that, and like I just want to chill and do some arts and crafts, you know what I mean? So I want to make sure that I'm spending time doing that. Quality time with friends, I feel like I need to be better at that. I don't set aside enough time for quality time with my friends, and so I want to be better at doing that. I feel like this is quite popular for 2026. Intentional purchases. There was a girl who went viral recently. I think her name's Brooke or Brooklyn. She's an Aussie. Absolutely love her stuff. But she went viral for only spending, she spent money on 12 items. Materialistic purchases, right? So she can she's budgeted for her bills and her experiences and all of that kind of stuff, but she's restricted the clothes and the fun things that she buys to 12 things, so one a month. And it's gone viral and people are talking about being better with their spending, and it's kind of like a fight back against consumerism, but also just wasting money on impulsive purchases. And I had already been thinking about that. I am such an impulsive buyer, and so I want to be better at not doing that. I want to have quality items rather than quantity of items, and so we're gonna be better at being more specific or intentional with my purchases. Do I really love this? Am I really gonna wear this? Or am I really gonna use this more than once? Those sorts of mentalities that we're gonna shift into. Another in for 2026 is confidently, authentically, and unapologetically being who I am and not molding to fit in. That was a really long one, but I feel like I often adapt my personality to the group of people that I am around, and I filter things so that people will like me. And look, that's just a natural part of human interaction, but I want people to like me for the, authentic me that I am, not some facade or show or performance that I fabricated. And, I've obviously matured in that over the years, but I want to get better at that and just this is me, love it or leave it, take me as I am kind of vibe. I want to be a good villager. There's all this, everyone wants to be a part of a village and, it takes a village to survive life. And I 100% agree with that. But I feel as a society, we're not actually very good villagers. And me personally, I could probably be a better villager. In terms of being a villager takes sacrifice. Being a villager is not just, having spare milk that someone can, borrow. It's does someone need someone to go to the airport? Are they sick and need to be cooked a meal? I mean, I'm not a great cook, but that's just an example, right? I want to be in the nitty-gritty of life with the people in my life and not just hear about their struggles later in the week. You know what I mean? Like when I catch up with friends or see my friends, it's like doing life together. I don't want to just hear about the recap of their life when we catch up for coffee. So I'm going to try and be a better villager, which also involves involving people in the nitty-gritty of my life as well, letting them be a villager for me. I'm trying to establish healthy digital boundaries. I work in social media. A part of my job is social media. I need social media for my job to be able to do my job. But also I love social media as a hobby and scrolling and creating content and all of that kind of stuff. So like I'm online all the time, which is great and fun, but it's also like not great and not always fun, and I'm just doom scrolling way too much. So I'm going to try and establish some really healthy digital boundaries, a lot more stricter than they currently are this year, because I want to be off my phone and out there living life. And the next, or the last in for 2026 is finding ways to make life more whimsical. This is such a weird one, but I think that's the whole point, right? Like I think as adults, we kind of lose a little bit of the playfulness of life, or I've used this term before and I've heard other people use it. It's like the flirting with life. And I don't mean like being a flirt with people. I mean like, what a fun, random, like strange, colorful, wild things that you can do in your everyday life. Like, for example, the other day I had to buy pasta for the bolognese I was buying, and I could have bought penne pasta, which is like the basicest pasta ever. But I was looking at the pasta aisle and I was like, you know what? I want bow tie pasta for my bolognese today. Like, I'm going to be a little bit whimsical and have bow tie pasta with my dinner. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It tastes exactly the same. I'm sure all of the Italians are like, no, the bow tie pasta is for this dish. I understand that. But like, I wanted bow ties in my meal, and that's just a fun little quirk that I could add to my day to make it a little bit more whimsical. But like, maybe it's wearing bright colored clothes instead of black in winter, or maybe it's, you know, listening to funky music while you're driving around town, or maybe like maybe it's taking up a new skill and hobby like rollerblading or something like that, which isn't very common. Like, there are so many ways to add whimsy to your life, and I'm so excited to find fun ways to just be a little quirky this year. We've got some outs for 2026. Impulsive purchases. They're out. Being offended really easily. I feel like that's a big one for me. I get so offended and take things so personally when it's got nothing to do with me at all, but sometimes I feel like it is, and I don't know if it's a personal attack or just a decision that was made. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I take it all in, really absorb it personally, and I'm trying to be better at not doing that. But that's a really hard thing if that's your default, right? Talking negatively about myself. I don't necessarily do this in the way that maybe most people do. Like, I'm not insecure about the way that I look, or I'm not like, there's not things about my physical appearance that I don't like, but maybe it's like I'm doing something and I'm like, oh, I'm such an idiot, or oh, this is so frustrating, or oh, what did you do that for? You're so dumb. Like, it's those sorts of mental things that I say about myself that I want to catch myself out before I say them. Doom scrolling is out for 2026, and worrying about what others think about my choices. I have restricted from doing certain things because I've been worried about what people think, but I've also been worried about telling people about some of the choices that I've made and the, you know, dreams that I have, desires that I have, because I'm scared of what people think. And I think that's just so silly. Like, again, that's taking away from people actually knowing the authentic version of myself, like who I am to my core, because I'm refraining from sharing something like my dream or a desire or a wish or a project I'm working on or something like that. And so I am cutting away with it in 2026. Okay, now I'm going to share some of the things on my bingo card for 2026. I've kind of got a 4x4 grid, and we're going to go through most of them. So we've got watch a live sport event. I'm not a sporting girly whatsoever. I maybe in a 2-year span would watch maybe one game of sports, and it's probably a family member's game of sports. Like, it's not because I enjoy watching sport whatsoever, but I want to go to a live event, whether that's a family member or a friend's like local event, or maybe that's like a, you know, an AFL or a tennis or a, I don't know sport, but it sounds like it could be fun if you do it with the right people. So I want to add that to my bingo card. I've recently gotten into like making material patches, and so I want to give them as gifts potentially this year, or at least one of them as a gift, and work really hard on making it look good so that the person will like it and wear it. I want to go to more than 3 concerts, which I think is probably likely considering I've already bought tickets to one of them. I'm in the process of buying tickets to another. So that's like 2 out of 3 already gone. So I'm well on the way to ticking that off my list. I want to host a girls' night, and not just like any girls' night, like a themed event. Maybe it's a games night, maybe it's a charcuterie board night, or a color night where like you bring a food of that color. Like I want to be like really intentional about like a themed event that I want to host. So I have a goal of reading 12 books this year. I also want to watch a beach sunset, which I think is just one of the most beautiful things you can do. I'm not a fitness girly whatsoever. I don't go to the gym. The most exercise I do a week is go for walks, but I want to take some Pilates classes. Maybe not regularly, but like a couple here and there, get into the swing of like moving my body in a way that I haven't for a while. I want to travel interstate. That could probably be for one of the concerts that I'm going to, or it could be for a little getaway. I don't know, but I'm excited for a little bit of travel. So my job is in radio, like I'm a radio announcer, and so I want to interview some people this year. I've got 3 on my list. I'm like getting into this career, so last year I interviewed 2 people on my own. It'd be really great to have 3 this year. Going along with the like intentional purchases, I want to spend 1 month not buying clothes whatsoever. Nothing online, nothing in person, nothing at thrift stores, absolutely nothing. I want to read the Bible for a minimum of 4 days per week across the year, like an average of 4 days a week, so that I'm like really in my word. My relationship with God is growing deeper. Like I really want to be rich in the Bible. I want to cut down my screen time to about an average of 2 hours per day. I want to go on a date, at least one this year. That would be nice. My love life is pretty dismal, and it'd be nice to kind of kick that off a little bit this year. I want to plan a trip with my mum. That would be so much fun, like traveling with her, whether that's like a little road trip or an actual international getaway. I think we would have lots of fun, and it would be a really cute girly like trip to go on with her. And that is my bingo card for 2026. Has this been a great opportunity for you to get some inspiration for your goals in 2026? There's still time. You don't have to start at the very beginning of the year. Goals can be achieved at any time. You can start at any time. It doesn't have to be a Monday. It doesn't have to be the 1st of January. You can start today. So let this be an encouragement that, hey, it's what, the 9th or 10th of January, and you can think about what you want to achieve in 2026. I hope you have an amazing day. Don't forget to click that subscribe button to follow along the weird and wacky things that I get up to throughout the year. And don't forget to hug someone today. Bye-bye.